Hey fellow Vault Dwellers, it's Angry Turtle, and finally, for you, I have a full guide and review of latest Vulcan power armor. It does took me a lot of full raid runs, as well as a lot of Guardian farming. 40 full runs, entire raid, and about 150, maybe 200 Guardians defeated. So a lot. The most important plan dropped last, but let me review all its new features for you. The fusion core reduction, the gimbal braces with extra accuracy, super high jump, additional torso damage feature, arms damage features, all of it. All of it will be reviewed in here, as well as amazing ability to reduce fusion core drain to 0 in watts and when jetpacking. Maybe first, you wonder what will be the difference between my Union setup in resistances and the new power armor setup. My Raid Runner build with Union power armor already offers quite solid resistance improvement, so it's not like main purpose to get a new power armor for that. I don't think so. Let me show you the new power armor. And that's the new power armor resistances. As you can see, I'm sacrificing some of my poison resistance, most of it comes from legendary card, for much more energy resistance, a little bit more ballistic resistance. So yes, overall resistance wise, this is more tanky one. So first we'll review a fusion core improvement as well as AP regeneration. So I have equipped power user, which is basically 50% slower fusion core drain already. And we are starting from my main raid set, which is a Union. And please pay attention when I will be jumping and then jetpacking about fusion core state and the drain. So if I'm jumping, okay, in front of that, that's how I can jump. That's how high I can jump. With, of course, marsupial mutation. Now I pop one cake and pay attention on the fusion core drain. As you can see, it's draining consistently when I'm jetpacking. I am able to go up to this height, and core is indeed draining. My AP regeneration, you can see. Okay, one more time. Jump and look at AP regeneration. That's with the T active. Now we are changing to Vulcan power armor with elastic servos. Elastic servos is a new mod for your legs if you want to use it. Unfortunately, no carry weight from calibrated shocks. So carry weight will be the biggest issue with new power armor. How to use new toys with limited carry weight. And now this is how high I jump with elastic servos. So it is a higher jump. The difference in jump height is about, I would say, 6 feet. A little bit more, about the height of the power armor. Now let's pop a cake, pay attention to the fusion core drain. As you can see, it's halved again, so yeah, it's additive. Fusion core drain go down by 50% additional, so it's 75% total fusion core drain reduction, and yes, you can fly higher if you jump higher initially. AP regeneration, you can see in here, it's a little bit faster. It's not a huge difference because this AP regeneration from the set, it's not the same as the T. 10% that T gives me is way superior to 25% of that, but it does add up, so I have more AP regeneration while wearing this set. The fusion core drain is a big one because if you want, you could equip cooling vents on your legs. So if you would equip cooling vents instead of elastic servos, that 5% per leg, so it would be 10 total. It would add to that 35, add to perk, you can have 85% reduction of fusion core drain. Or if you choose to do that, you can use consumables, magazines, or bubblehead. Adding bubblehead repair will improve the fusion core drain to 100% reduction. So let me pop that. Alternatively, there is Tesla Science 4, that's the same thing, but a little bit weaker. And now pay attention to fusion core drain, or lack thereof. Look at fusion core drain. I actually went a little bit above 100%, so if you pay attention, my fusion core drain at this moment is negative. Yes. Negative fusion core drain is possible with this power armor. Therefore, when I'm using a jetpack, I'm slowly charging my fusion core. So yeah, you can absolutely run with just one fusion core, and when you need to recharge it, you pop a bubble head repair, as that put me 5% above. So I have 105% reduction, which is 5% charge to my fusion core. So that's amazing feature. I hope it's gonna stay like that. You can go above 100% and get yourself a fusion core charge. But that's not all the features of new power armor. Let's keep going, as there is more. So next set I have equipped with quite nice combat toys. So the combat toys, we have ultra sight bracers that list melee attacks apply poison and radiation damage on contact, but it's not that. It's absolutely not that. It's all attacks apply poison and radiation dot on contact, including guns, when you have that equipped and stack with both arms. Next one that's new, it's for the torso, and here we have reflection assembly. Reflection assembly, 150 bleed damage over 5 seconds to melee attackers. This time only melee attackers as listed. So let's test it. And now we have a test. Some of those volunteers in here, as you can see, there is a lot of damage. Like some of those explosions from my mutations do apply those damage from arms too, so it applied to itself a lot. The bleed damage is from a torso, the poison damage, radiation damage from arm mods. Oh, there is more. So as you can see, all this arm mod applying poison and radiation. And when they attack me with melee, there is additional bleed, so they will absolutely annihilate themselves. As well, I can apply by shooting them. Yeah, there we go. Too many explosions. By shooting them, I can apply additional poison. Okay, they die too fast. Okay, let me find more. Okay, now I will try to shoot this one. And look at that. Poison and radiation. Of course, Ghoul's immune to radiation, but the poison is slowly doing some damage. Then you have some extra damage from the bleed when they attack me. Look at that, all of time. The cryo damage is from third star on one of my pieces. So that's legendary effect already existing. So they will absolutely annihilate themselves by attacking me. Or I can apply it. So this is great. For killing melee attackers, if you have a problem with those, it will kill even faster weak ones, like let's say more rats. So bleed and poison. Poison from arm mods when they trigger my mutation, and bleed is applied whenever they attacked with a melee. And it's doing a really good job. So if you want that, unfortunately it requires sacrifice of a jetpack, which is not great. I would not sacrifice a jetpack. I don't think so for that. And now one of the most important new feature, finally a useful mod for your arms if you are using guns. It's called gimbal bracers. Gimbal bracers, what it does, it says 15% scope accuracy, 15% hipfire accuracy, but in practice, it is more than that. It is insane improvement to accuracy. It does stack on both arms, so I have both arms, and let me show you how well it works on some examples. And yes, I do have stabilized equipped, as most likely every heavy gunner will have it. So here we go, some weapon examples. And we unequip both gimbals first, so you can have a baseline. And first is the Gatling laser. Let's aim for this window, or maybe the side window. That's a hip fire, not controlling for recoil. That's aiming. I will not be controlling for recoil, so we can see natural recoil with this gun. This gun is quite good, but now we are adding gimbals. Look at improvement to accuracy. Just so great. It doesn't really compensate for recoil, as you can see. So recoil is the same, but accuracy is greatly improvement. It's like pinpoint accuracy with those both mods. Now, if I add to that a legendary effect, 4-star, recoil and stability improvement. So look at this accuracy. It's really pinpoint now. And the recoil is almost non-existent. Aiming down the side can hit exactly the middle of this window. A little bit more recoil when aiming down the side. Now, next one, we have our trusty 50 cal. And you know how it goes, yeah. 50 cal is not really easy to stay accurate. The recoil is not the worst, but the accuracy is really bad. Adding gimbals to this problem. And look at improvement to accuracy. Recoil remains the same, but accuracy is great. And if you compensate for recoil, it will be awesome. If you add to your 50 cal additional legendary stability, look at that. You can transform your gameplay with most guns. If you don't want to use VATS, of course, it does not affect VATS. So if you are a VATS user, it's not really affecting anything for you. The VATS is unaffected, so that's the cremator. The recoil is not important here, so for the guns that recoil is not important, you can greatly improve your accuracy. Look how nice it goes. The 4-star is probably overkill. Just look what's happening. Like basically 4 projectiles turn into 1 if you add this additional effect. And now the Peppa Shaker, so that's relatively high spread normally without the gimbals. Okay, the same window. Aiming down the side. Now, adding the gimbals. Significant improvement, I think you can tell. Look at that. As the recoil is not a problem on this gun, so that goes crazy. Adding stability is overkill, but here you go. Like all those projectiles turn into 1 big clumps of projectiles with the Peppa Shaker. So some fun is absolutely possible. Resolve breaker, so the grenade launcher. I don't think it's necessary for that, but that's how it's firing. And without gimbals, of course, there is more spread if you need it or don't need it. Up to you, but that's how good these new power armor features are. Is it worth grinding so much of the raid? For me, it is. As raid is dropping 4 stars. And raid is the best way to obtain 4-star legendary effects. All legendary 4-star effects from the raid. So I would grind it either way. And now I need to figure out how to cut down what I'm carrying to be able to use the new power armor and have some fun with those toys, including self-recharging fusion core. Okay, I will show you one more thing. How fast it will self-recharge. So here, the vented legs. So extra reduction to power armor battery drain rate. So both is 10%. So quick math. 50% from perk. 25% from power armor set, 75. 10% from legs, 85. 30% from bubblehead, 115. So with 115%, let's have some fun jetpacking around. And look at my fusion core drain. Fusion core is slowly being recharged when I'm jetpacking around. The same will happen in advance, so I'm slowly charging my fusion core by having fun with a jetpack. That's the best feature of the new power armor, as well as this cool, colorful green jetpack. The first green jetpack for green turtles. So that's how you charge the fusion core with the Vulcan. Yeah, the bubblehead required to charge it, but how fun is that? I love this feature. I like the new features of this power armor. Let me know what you think. Are you excited to try it? Or you cannot care? And that being said, thank you a lot for watching, and see you all in the next one.